Hi everybody, how you doing? I wanted to make a video to clear things up. You probably guessed by the title and the thumbnail what this video is about, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet because you probably want to know my take on it, and you also probably want to know like what's happening, or what has happened. So if I start at the very beginning, I knew that there was going to be like a World Championships, a virtual World Championships on Zwift. When I actually found out about it, I was kind of like in two minds about like the whole event, because obviously I attended the British National e-racing championships back in early 2019. I was kind of like, how are they gonna do it? Like, how are you gonna select a team to represent your nation for the Zwift World Championships? It felt like it was happening like really fast. So I didn't think anything of it, didn't hear anything of it, apart from what I saw, just like you guys, in the media this year, which is actually very little, to be fair. And then the first I heard about it, which kind of refreshed my memory, was, I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to name drop, but a certain World Tour rider, she or he, I'm not going to name, sent me a direct message on Instagram saying, have you had an email from British Cycling asking to basically like register your interest for the Zwift World Championships? And I thought, that's a bit strange. No, I haven't. This was like late, like middle October, and as far as I'm aware, like the closing date was really close. So if they're sending emails out like really close to the closing date, then that's not ideal. So anyway, I said like, no, I've not had any correspondence. But again, it wasn't at the forefront of my brain. So what happened then was a series of messages back and forth between me and this certain individual, and he or she said that they were basically thinking of me because they had seen me Zwift racing, they'd seen me live streaming. So I was pretty like blown away that this person at this level had like heard of me, to be honest, and very excited by the prospect that I could be riding for GB and representing my nation for the first time ever, like regardless if it's on e-racing or not. So I pursued it, an email address to get in touch with at British Cycling, and I did that. I had a pretty speedy response, I must say, and I actually have what I sent them here in an email. I basically told them that I competed at the British Zwift Championships. I'm an elite and former professional rider. I'm not actually one of the top ranked Zwifters in the UK, because the way that Zwift works, for those of you that don't know, because I suppose some of you do and don't know how Zwift works and you're watching this, you need to compete against players or riders that are higher ranked than you. You need to beat them in order to kind of move up the rankings. And most of the races I do, because of qualification and stuff, I don't race against the top level because I can't get into those races for one reason or another. So I'm kind of like at the top of what's left of that, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I even sent them my Pro Cycling Stats page because, in case they'd never heard of me, then they'd be able to find out what I'd done in the past. Also sent them my Zwift Power Staff, my weight, and yeah, even sent them like a screenshot of the message that I'd had from that certain professional rider. And like I said, I had an email back, and the email was, like I said, a fairly well-worded email. But I quote, "Unfortunately, as per UCI regulations for the event, we were only able to select from riders that are either in the UCI or national testing pool. The decision of who is added to the national testing pool sits with UK Anti-Doping and not British Cycling, with UK Anti-Doping stating they would not add riders to the testing pool by request for this competition, and as it is not a process that they follow." I'm not sure what that means. "We'll be feeding back to the UCI this criteria for future championship, as it severely limits the riders eligible for the championship at discounts a good number of riders regularly racing and performing on Zwift, such as yourself." I thought that was a great response. And hence why I never replied to it, because I thought, well, actually, like, they obviously know the issue, and you know, hopefully they'll sort it in the future. But since the news has come out, and it came out yesterday, and there was this post from British Cycling, great post. It suddenly escalated, and then this was posted. I have absolutely nothing to do with this whatsoever, okay? But me and Ed Clancy, whose head has been replaced by mine, so two Eds, you get that joke. Me and Ed Clancy would go way back. Like, we used to race on the same team at JLT Condo, Rafa Condo JLT, and he actually, like, I'd say played a pretty big part in my development as a young cyclist. But then, you know, as the news broke, it started to centre more around what the people were saying in the community. You know, this is what social media is. People see the news and they get to comment on it there and then. I started getting tagged in things. I started being sent direct messages, and before I knew it, like, I thought I better say something. And I'm not like saying this is right, this is wrong. But the more I delve into it, the more I see, like, well, maybe it was rushed. Just one particular, you know, to go down, you know, the women's side of it, there's a great women's team lineup. There's a great men's team lineup as well in the Zwift team for the Worlds for GB. You know, Ed Clancy, Rob Scott, Max Stedman, Andy Tennant. Strong riders. Strong bike riders. You know, and the same on the women's side. But I was a little bit like, I'm not the only one, you know. There's on the men's side, there's like Mike Cumming, who, you know, I also raced with for a number of years. I know Mike quite well. You know, there's also Gavin Dempster, fellow Welshman James Phillips, who's, you know, the new British national Zwift champion. And then the women's side, you know, there's Alice Lethbridge, there's Mary Wilkinson, there's April Tracy, there's Leah Dixon. There's a number of riders who have actually missed out. And like I said, maybe the whole thing was rushed, and like UCI have put things in place. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on it because, like I said, I am not clued up on it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm no way expecting things to change. I'm no way expecting, you know, me and the likes of those guys and girls to be selected on the basis of what I was sent about a month or so ago. I did tell you back then that I'd registered my interest, but this is where we are. So it will never stop me from pursuing that need to represent my country, my nation. I've never had the chance to do that. Funny enough, what got me into the sport was watching Nicole Cook winning Olympic gold, representing Great Britain on the road in Beijing. I'll never give up on that.